How's it going, guys? And welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the Cure. If you'd like to get the Cure for yourself, you're gonna have to start the Guns, Love, and Tentacles DLC and completing the first and second story mission, as upon completion of that second story mission, being the Shadow over Cursehaven, you will be rewarded with the Cure. The Cure is a unique purple-rarity Jakob shotgun, having completely locked parts and being unable to come anointed. The unique effect of this is simply that it has a 15% built-in lifesteal to it. So first off, gorgeous gun. Jakob shotties are just beautiful as is, but that's a good one, baby. I just want to fucking lubricate those barrels, you know what I mean? Get my fingers all up in that steel and we ain't talking Commandant. Now that I've absolutely destroyed my retention, let's actually talk about the gun itself and how it performs. And you know what? Surprisingly enough, on True Molly 1 Takedown, it actually wasn't that terrible. It was absolutely taking a few more shots than I generally want out of a 2-shot double barrel shotgun, averaging around 3 entire reloads for squishy enemies, but even then, it was pretty oftentimes more. And we'll just get it out of the way. Yeah, giving an anointment helps out immensely. While it still doesn't really double tap all that often, it does begin to have the potential to do so, and instead of averaging 3 reloads, it pretty consistently would only be 2. So while not anything super special damage-wise, this is good enough damage on top of that 15% built-in lifesteal that it could actually have a place for Flak or Moze if it was able to be anointed. I've talked about this before whenever I've covered Moxie guns, however, it's the same case here. Nothing is safe from the Flak and Moze rule. This gun allows those two characters to completely circumvent one of their key balancing points, being no easy access to lifesteal, and generally just being fragile because of it. And while it circumvents their balancing point, they go ahead and circumvent its balancing point by being able to pump so much damage into this thing that it doesn't matter how poorly it performs on Zane or Amara. You remember what this looked like on True Molly 1 Takedown, right? Even with an anointment? Here's the same gun on True Guardian Takedown. Still unanointed, still kind of mid, all things considered, but as you can see, it's able to upkeep amp on itself pretty much 100% of the time through a bloodletter and that built-in lifesteal. This is of course nothing new with Moze, however usually these sorts of builds are run with launchers or other slower firing weapons as they're much easier to consistently keep up that amp on. This is a shotgun that I can spam fire and have amp on every single one of those shots. I'm telling you, while it would be niche, the Cure would be fucking killer. All it needs is a fucking anointment. Gearbox, please. Holy shit. I swear to God, that's what half of this series has become, is just me yelling about a gun actually being so close to being good, but it just can't fucking be anointed. Overall though, while the Cure is surprising for what it is, unfortunately it doesn't avoid being what it is, being a purple-rarity Jakob shotgun that can't be anointed. If it could be anointed, I think this would actually be a top-tier option as it is currently for both Moze and Flak, synergizing incredibly well with them, both those characters performing incredibly with multi-pellet weapons, while at the same time turning some of the most frail characters into life-stealing menaces. But it does seem that for the time being, the actual Moxie weapons aren't going to be getting competition from the Cure. Because, yeah, I've avoided talking about it this entire time, but the Heartbreaker exists. Higher damage per pellet, higher pellet count, fully automatic, 5% more lifesteal. The Heartbreaker just fucking sweeps this thing any day of the week. And it can actually drop with an anointment. I really try to talk about these guns just on their own merits, but sometimes, like this case, it's a little bit unavoidable. That's about do it for this one though. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that. I'll be live right after this video goes up, right here on YouTube and also over on my Twitch channel, where there will be a link to down in the description below. I highly recommend it. It's going to be a good one. I'm doing no left click Flak. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one or over on my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/let's fucking go, baby.